Hello, guys. Welcome to the second half of Croatia versus Morocco. We are live for the second half. Um, Hopefully, most will join us soon. I'm gonna put the screen uh, in the chat. Hope everyone is fine. It's been a while. Unfortunately, something happened to most channels, so he cannot stream it from his channel. But hopefully, that will be sorted soon. I'm just gonna try and find the game. If anyone has any good streams, do let me know. But I don't have the channel here in Gambia. Yes, Moss is broken, but hopefully he will be back soon. But it was a very entertaining first half. I was watching it on my phone actually. Um, Good performance from both teams. Croatia was more clinical than Morocco, and that's why they are leading. But hopefully Morocco can equalize. They did look very dangerous on the counter. Just need to be clinical if they want to win this and maybe play a bit more dangerous. But it's been a good game, very entertaining World Cup in general. I don't remember a World Cup that I've watched with so many good and quality games. And I think it could be down to the fact that players are in mid-season, they are in form, they are playing well, and that's why we've seen so many good games instead of having, as we usually do, in the summer, when it's end of season. Let me see. Can you hear me better soon? 1 second, guys. Can you guys hear me better now? Hopefully, you can hear me better now. So we're live here, Croatia versus Morocco, still 2-1. It's been a very entertaining World Cup, as I said before, and I think it's down to the fact that players are in mid-season. They are in form. Right? It's not like it's end of season. They play the full season. They're tired, and now they're just trying to, you know, play the World Cup. They're actually in mid-season, and obviously, if you love club football, it's not ideal. But for the quality of the game, it's been good. Can you hear me better now? Big up everyone that has tuned in with us. Do appreciate everyone that's here. We did try to go live before, but it wasn't really working. Let me just update the score as well. Wait, yeah, 2-1 more goal. And who do you think will win? What's your prediction? Put them in the chat. Be interesting to know. There we have it. Oh, sorry. I'll see if I can actually sort that out. 1 second. I'll try something else and then we'll see. I don't know where Moss is. He was supposed to be here with me doing this game, but he's not. But yeah, put your predictions in the chat. 2-1. Nima, hello. How are you? Hello. Come. Yes. Say hello. Big up Errol in the chat. We make sure everyone subscribe to the Man United agenda, guys. I'm here live with my daughter. Yeah, say hello. Say how are you? Right. This can you guys?
Daddy,
Yeah.
Daddy,
Yeah.
Daddy, go on. Daddy, Daddy,
Yeah.
Daddy,
Say you and me.
Mommy,
No, mom is in the other room.
Mommy,
Don't touch.
Daddy.
Don't touch it. No, don't touch it. I know you want to. But yeah, the World Cup's been great. I've really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people miss club football, and it's fair, you know. But in terms of entertaining games, in terms of the underdog story, in terms of, you know, just the vibe of the World Cup, I can't really complain too much. You know, it's been good. I've enjoyed it, and we've seen some great goals, some great performance, both from Morocco and from Croatia. And let's see the second half. You know, yeah, the three kittens did go home. They did go home. That's true. But I think England, I think they were good. They just they weren't effective against France, and I kind of lost them the game. But I think overall they should be quite happy. They played. I think they played better in this World Cup. I've seen them for many World Cups, England, and I felt like Southgate in general, he was more, wasn't as can we say, before Southgate's very pragmatic, defensive, and very boring. I think at least with this World Cup, bold and play 4-3-3, and it did, you know. Another day, Kane scores this penalty, and it changes the outcome and the momentum of the game. And maybe we would have seen England instead playing the final. It's small margins. Small margins in football. Yeah, I know. It's the history of Tottenham, isn't it? It is the history of Tottenham. They don't win titles, and it's good as an Arsenal fan, isn't it? We don't want to see them win titles, but it would have been great to see Bukayo Saka lift that trophy after the Euros. Yeah, I think, as someone who doesn't really kind of have a big emotional attachment to England, I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think it was on him. And I think it's fair to say that. I know he gets a lot of criticism, Southgate, and sometimes it's been valid. Sometimes I think it's been overstatement just for the fact that, he's not a fancy name. It's not a big name. He hasn't really been successful before he joined England as a manager, and people hold that against him every time. So,
every time he doesn't win, it's because he's not good enough. It's not the fact that maybe it's just because there are other teams out there that are better, you know, and that have won more. And I think sometimes people struggle to take that in. Uh, and I think in the end, there can only be one winner in the World Cup. Only one team can lift that trophy. A trophy that's every 4 years. It's not easy. I mean, Brazil hasn't won it for 20 years now. I think Spain hasn't won it for over 10 years. Germany hasn't won it for a bit. It's not easy to win the World Cup. Argentina has not won the World Cup since Maradona. So it's not just about quality, it's about so much more. And I feel like international football has evolved. It's evolved from back in the days where it was uh, just about individual performance almost. So much more now when it comes to system, technical ability, technology, circumstances, nutrition, mental health, and all of that is the football now. Bottom and we were out, but I'm back. I'm back, guys. So yeah, Pini, who do you think will win this game? It does look like Croatia might just nail it, but still time left. It's football. A lot can still happen. But I think regardless, Morocco has to be happy and proud with the World Cup. They've done so well. And yeah, I agree. Like people do like big names, excitement. You know, it's the bragging right, isn't it? Like you can brag that I got this big manager, and it gives you maybe more belief and excitement. Doesn't necessarily mean that it will give you more success. I mean, we can just look at Spain. They had Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique won the treble with Barcelona, but he hasn't done anything with Spain. You can look at Hansi Flick, big name, won the treble with Bayern Munich, but he hasn't done anything with Germany. So it's not just about big name. And I think sometimes in football, it's like if you win a title, then all of a sudden you're an elite manager. And if you don't win the title, you're a poor manager. There's no like gray zones or gray area understanding of circumstances and maybe a bit of luck. Maybe who's it called? Maybe Luis Enrique was more lucky to have Neymar, Messi, and Suarez in their prime, and that helped him win the treble with Barcelona. And the same could be said about Hansi Flick. He had a fantastic team with Serge Gnabry, with Lewandowski, Kingsley Coman. Don't think Sane had joined them then, but yeah, they had a fantastic team, and it helps, the players you have and and the squad you have and the heritage you have. It helps. It helps a lot. Big up Abigail. The game is not finished yet. It's still 2-1 Croatia goal. We played around 61 minutes, and we get some more goals, but it's not finished yet. Yeah. I think this is an amazing example. Claudio Ranieri. he won the league title with Leicester City in a team that no one expected to win the league in the Premier League. Or would anyone take him at Arsenal? We had Di Matteo. He won the Champions League and the FA Cup, Chelsea's first ever Champions League. Would anyone take Di Matteo at Arsenal? I don't think they would. So and that's my point, that just because you've won certain trophies, that doesn't mean per se that you are the answer to what a team needs to be successful. Sometimes it's a lot, it's a lot more. But people don't want to see that. People just want it to be black and white because it's easy. It's easy to say, this guy has won this trophy, that's why he's elite. This guy didn't win, that's why he's not good enough. And for me, that's not the case. That's not how I look at football anyway. It's an interesting debate. I think it's a topic one can do a stream on. Yeah, I know. And this is the thing. And also, football changes a lot. You could be a good manager or in the past. That doesn't mean that in the future you're the answer either. Maybe the way you play football, the way you look at football, that only works for a certain time. We've seen it with Mourinho. It's gone from winning every trophy you could win to now being almost a C-tier manager, where he's playing for the Conference League and Europa League and Roma. He's not playing for the Champions League or the Premier League or La Liga or Serie A anymore. So things change in football, but I do think fans sometimes struggle to admit that things change. And also, like, it's easy to say that Southgate should get sacked, and I wouldn't say it's right or wrong to sack him. I think you have to look at why should you sack him, and if you do sack him, who do you take in? I think the problem with England is that they don't have any strong English candidate that can take over right now. Eddie Howe is not leaving Newcastle to manage England. Graham Potter is not leaving. He's not leaving Chelsea to manage England. I don't even think Brendan Rodgers would manage England because he's not English. I think he's Irish. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, do you then look at international manager, and then you look at who would want to manage England that is not even just better than Southgate, but suits the players we have, the personalities that the England squad have, that togetherness, and can maximize it and go further than Southgate. I think that's more the question you have to ask. And if you have the answer to it, then great, go and get that manager. But I don't think it's that easy to say that Southgate must go and this is the perfect candidate, or this is a good enough candidate to take the risk with. So I think Southgate at least stays until the Euros. Let's see what he does in the Euros. Let's see if he can do very well and even win it. And if he then doesn't win, then you can say, okay, now he's been here for 4 tournaments. It's time to move on, and maybe by then you will have stronger candidates. But I do think it highlights the fact that England, as much as money they put into to players and academic and stuff like that, they need to look at the management side and see how can they also get managers that can win the Premier League, that can win the World Cup, that can win the Euros, that can be up there with the best managers in the world. I do think England lacks that. And I do think they need it. They need candidates, other countries with similar quality in squad can sack their manager and get similar or even better, France could sack Deschamps and go and get Zinedine Zidane, for example. That's a great option. Argentina could sack their current manager and go and get Pochettino, for example. You know, Spain has already sacked Enrique, and there's so many Spanish managers. You know, Italy, they could sack Mancini, and if Ancelotti is ready to go into international football, it would be a good option. You know, I think England needs that. They do need that. But yeah, so far it's 2-1 to Croatia still. Orisic and Guardiola scored, and for Croatia. What do you guys make of the second half? It doesn't look right now that Morocco will score, but you know, anything can happen from a corner. They could get a goal, and it changes the dynamic of the game. You know, momentum is so important. Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, he's staying. If they wanted to sack him, he would have been sacked. I think it's safe to say that he is staying, and the players are playing for him as well. So let's see if he learns and becomes better as well. You know, it's not easy to be a manager. It really isn't. That's why 68 minutes. Yeah, Morocco's had so many injuries. I think Jawad El Yamik is injured. I don't know how many defenders Morocco's lost. All good size in the first half. Yeah, so Amrabat is gonna play defense. You know, Dari, who scored the goal for Morocco, is injured. But what I'm more worried about is that what will happen after the World Cup, because the schedule is so intense. Will players be fit enough to continue? That's the thing as well. We'll see. But yeah, 2-1 Morocco. Sorry, 2-1 Croatia versus Morocco. Lots of injuries, unfortunately, which is not nice to see. And you do get worried. You know, Arsenal lost Jesus to injury. And, you know, we've seen the schedule for January and February. It's gonna be tight. And I think that's why Arteta wants to strengthen the squad. Because we can't really afford any more key injuries to the squad as it is for now. I think the problem, Pini, is that fans is that if we, let's say the season ends in a disappointment, I don't know, I can't define disappointment for everyone, but I think for some, a disappointment would be not to be in the title race. For others, it would be to not win any trophy at all. For others, it would be missing out on Champions League. Me, I'm not there yet. But as far as we are now, I'm not too worried. I'm just enjoying my team, the way we play, this journey, this excitement to all around Arsenal. Yeah, And I just want to enjoy, this moment. I haven't had, I don't remember the last time I was this excited and just enjoying the way we play, the players that we have, players we recruit, and see the development of the younger players and even of the manager, and just see how well run the club is. I don't remember, they must have been in the early 2000s. I think the last team that I was really excited about was probably when we had Nasri, Fabregas, Van Persie, Adebayor, Roshiski, Kleb. Yeah, that was probably the last time. And I think I prefer this team over them. So for me, I'm not gonna let anyone ruin it for me. Not gonna say we need to do this or do that. Just gonna enjoy the journey. For me, that's what being a fan is for me, and that's for me. I'm not saying everyone has to be like me, or this is the right way to be a fan. It's just the way I enjoy being a fan now, is to enjoy the moment, because nothing is given in football. I think that's what people need to understand. That nothing is given in football. I think in 2004, when we won the Invincible, he told me we would go 17, 18 years without a Premier League trophy. I would tell you, you're nuts. Yeah. And I think if we learned anything from last season, is that you can never rule out anything. You just take it as it goes. I think, like, we have Vieira now. We didn't have him last season. We have Saliba now. We didn't have him last season. We have Sinchenko now. We didn't have him last season. We have an improved Partey, improved Xhaka, improved Martinelli, improved Saka, sorry, an improved Ben White, even Gabriel. There's so many players that improved and are better this season. And that's why I have faith in the team and the management and in the style of play. Are we going to miss Jesus? Yeah, of course. It's a quality player. It's shown that the season, but is the season over? Is it impossible to do anything? No, it's not. It really isn't. And I think I'm not going to throw the towel in because of Jesus. That's my view on it anyway. And as I always say, each to their own. But we'll see. See what's gonna happen. Still 2-1, 77 minutes. No more goals yet in the second half. 3 goals in the first half. Tomorrow is the final, and then it's over. Then the World Cup is over. And it shows how fast time goes. Everyone was speaking about the World Cup, and then the World Cup came, and tomorrow it's over. Tomorrow we will either have a new crown champion or a back-to-back champion. So either Messi and Argentina also lift their first, World Cup since Maradona, or France with Mbappe and Giroud and Saliba, they do back to back. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a quality final. I'm looking forward to. Question is, where's Moss? give us a goal, just one goal. Yeah, just need one goal, and we're back in it. We believe in you. But it's hard. It's still 2-1 to Croatia. They are taking control of the game. Our good midfield, Croatia. I feel like Morocco gave so much them games against Portugal and Spain and even France. Starting to get to them. But it's 2-1, 80 minutes, 10 minutes is left. Let's see if the Moroccans can get a goal. 10 minutes plus extra time. Or see, but Croatia, another team, last World Cup, they finished second. This World Cup, they might finish third. What a journey for them and their team. And what a fantastic career Luka Modric has had after leaving Spurs. He's won all them trophies at Real Madrid, the Champions Leagues, and then La Liga, Spanish Cup, the Club World Cup, and a silver medal in World Cup, and maybe a bronze medal now, back-to-back medals in World Cup. The age of 38, still being one of the best central midfielders out there. It's a fantastic play. It's got to be up there with the all-time when we speak about the best central midfielders in the modern era. Don't like to go back too far because I do believe that 30 years ago, the pitches, the balls, and what was allowed, and technology and nutrition, it wasn't the same. Even the shoes, everything was different back in the days. So I don't think it's really fair to compare, like, Cruyff and Maradona's era to this era we are in now. They just have so much different circumstances to deal with, and just appreciate each era. I like that more. Croatia is now just trying to control the game, and Morocco is struggling to break them down. It's expected. They're tired. It's been a long tournament. But as long as there's time left and it's just one goal apart, we've seen in this World Cup anything can happen. You can't really count out teams until it's really over. It does, the more time goes, the more unlikely. Yeah. I think they know the final 10 minutes, they just have to go for it. They got nothing to lose anymore. They're already behind. It's the last game. Just go for it. If score a goal, great. If you lose 3-1, still lost. Doesn't change anything. So yeah, come on. Morocco. Let's do this. Let's try and win the game. Or get an equalizer. Could they go all the way to penalties? I feel like it would be tough. World Cup. 8 to 15 minutes now. On third place game, Croatia versus Morocco. And Croatia do it back-to-back medals in the World Cup. Now, can you do it? Or would Croatia hang on to it? 4 minutes left plus extra time. Unlucky. Unlucky. Unlucky there from Morocco. They've been 2-2. Kimi should do better there. He's had a great tournament, Hakimi. He's one of the best attacking defenders, maybe the best even. Yeah, I mean, Morocco and their fans, the players, the coach, the story. It's been lovely to see them. Crazy as well, to come back from being 1-0 down with so little time left against Brazil in extra time. It was a great comeback and just shows that they have such a high winning mentality, this Croatian team, and they've done really well in this past 8 years or 4 years, 2018 and now 2022. Great. It's probably Luka Modric, last game for Croatia. Yeah, me too. They did. And, the fact that the manager came in with such a short notice and the fact that they were so poor in the Africa Cup of Nations and so many players had left the team, and the manager managed to, convince them to come back and play for Morocco and perform and really, really do so well. Yeah, and I think it's a beautiful story, no matter how you look at it. Look, if you look at it from Croatia, small country, last World Cup they won a silver medal. This World Cup looking like they're gonna get the bronze medal. It's crazy, with players like Modric and Perisic, with their age. It's crazy, and the teams they face again, amazing. I think Morocco's probably had the hardest World Cup. They had to face Canada, they had to face Belgium, they had to face Croatia twice, they had to face Portugal, Spain, and France. And you cannot forget the fact that 3 of the best players are out. Size, all good, and Masraoui. They couldn't play today. I don't know if Onawi is is injured. That's why he's not playing. But the fact that they've had so many players out and they're still performing, playing at this level, making it a game today. Fair play to them. Yeah, they do. I remember when they had Boban and Dawood Suko of the World Cup 98 as well. They did so well in that World Cup. Did they finish third in that World Cup? Am I wrong to say? Does my memory serve me right? I think they did finish third. France won it, Brazil second. Was the game in third place? Was it Holland versus Croatia and Croatia won? I know they call Netherlands now. Can I have it? Can I have it, please? Give it to me. Thank you. Yeah, 91 minutes now. Yeah, man. Why it's fine? No. Yes, only a few minutes left. Third place. For me, this has been the most entertaining World Cup for me personally that I've witnessed that I can remember. I've never seen a World Cup with so many entertaining games, so many high quality games, and so many memorable memories. So that's probably the pros with playing it mid seasons. Everybody's in form. The cons, obviously, the fact that you don't get club football, you get players injured, you get a schedule that is not ideal. Yeah, I do think they finished third in 98. And big up Nippon. How you doing, brother? Great to see you back. Big up everyone that's here with us. We've got 12 people live at the moment. We've had fantastic figures. And big up to everyone that's subscribed to the channel as well. We have, I think, 251 subscribers. So we've gone up like almost 50 subscribers in a very short time. So big up to you, big up to Moss for streaming so many games when I haven't been able to stream them. Big up to Steven, big up to Bobby for the thumbnails, and big up Luke for always tuning in, big up Peony for always tuning in and supporting. You know, it's amazing to have all of you supporting the channel, the journey. Big up Nippon. Gonna put the link to the stream if anyone wants to join. We're in the 94th minute. But yeah, and I know a lot of people are club over country, and I respect that, each to their own, really. But for me, this is what national football is, the World Cup. This is why I love it. This is when you see players really playing for the badge, for the pride. There's no contract negotiations. There's no one buying them. It's really players really wanting to play and put their country on the map and make their countrymen, proud. And we've seen that with Croatia, we've seen that with Morocco, we'll see tomorrow with France and Argentina. You know, we've seen great performances from Japan, from Senegal. You know, a lot of team, even Saudi Arabia winning against Argentina in the first game. You know, we've seen so much this World Cup.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Just waiting for an Uber.
Oh, okay. Where you going?
Shopping. Um, because you saw that picture of me wearing a cost. It's very risky
Oh
for me
yeah,
to.
sorry. Yeah.
You see this? It's
Oh,
very
sorry,
risky for
bro.
me to walk on ice with a
Yeah,
cost on.
it is, it is, of course, man. I wish you speedy
Ubers will
recovery,
be
bro.
expensive, but it's better than ending up with a broken neck.
Yeah. So the game is over, guys. Croatia has won 2-1 Croatia. They've taken bronze. Morocco fought.
Podium. They've taken the
Fantastic.
podium.
Yeah. It's a fantastic performance for both teams and for their country and good. But yeah, Luke is saying if Saudi gets World Cup in 2030, we will get this all over again, plus this ridiculous World Cup for club teams idea by FIFA due to start in 2025. Yeah. I think for me, club football, I think the clubs and the players, they need to put their foot down and scrap this idea from FIFA
So wait, are
and
you
not agree
Arsenal
to it.
for Gambia?
Or it's either your connection or my connection, but it was breaking. Big up Peony. It's always a pleasure, you know, whenever I can, I'll try and do as much as I can. It's hard
Are you
now that
Arsenal
I'm out,
first or Gambia first?
but that's a hard. It depends. It depends. It depends. If you ask me, what would mean more to me if Gambia won the World Cup or if Arsenal,
AFCON. Get the World Cup.
okay, if Gambia won the AFCON or if Arsenal won the Champions League, I would probably pick Gambia because they've never won anything and they've only played in one African, and it's a country of 2 million people, so it's a very small nation,
Yeah,
and
for
it
me,
would bring
usually
so much money and development to the country. That's that's
I'm
that's
I'm with you on that one. Um,
yeah,
Look, for me, I obviously love my club. I
yeah,
bleed blue through and through.
yeah,
But I've seen Chelsea win multiple Premier Leagues and the
yeah,
Champions League twice in my lifetime.
yeah,
But it would
yeah,
mean nothing more than for me to see England win the World Cup.
yeah, yeah. I understand. I mean, I guess if let's say if I was from France, for example, and I've seen France won the World Cup 98, 2018, and maybe even, then obviously I would rather Arsenal
Maybe
win.
even
But
on Sunday. Maybe even on Sunday.
yeah, maybe even on Sunday. Exactly. But for me, it's more the fact that it would help so many lives and it will build infrastructures and bring on jobs and opportunities for poor
In
nation.
Highbury
That's more
area,
where it
right?
is. Yeah. Whereas with Arsenal, it's just my emotional attachment and my love for them. You understand? But for me, this either way, I would be happy. I wouldn't be. Like, it's not like I would be disappointed if Arsenal, let's say, won the Champions League and Gambia lost the final, for example. I would still be happy. But yeah, but yeah, and I get this for many people, and I've seen this. This seems to be quite the norm in England, where people love their club over the national team.
I love both,
Whereas,
honestly. I love both.
yeah, yeah, I know. Whereas I think anyway in this part of the world, in Africa, that's more a national team over club
Over here,
is
it's
interesting.
like over here, and especially in Europe, people sometimes fear to support the national team over the club team because then you're seen as
Yeah,
like, I don't want to go into politics, like, like a
yeah,
racist or a far right.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I get that. hundred
So I have
percent.
a funny
But
feeling it's just to do with fear over anything else.
I think it's quite personal and different for many different reasons. I think in England, I think the fact that the rivalries between the club teams and uh, the lack of silverware and the lack of feeling an attachment from the players previously to the nation has made the people are not necessarily in love with England, whereas they're very passionate about the club team. Whereas in other nations, you see in Argentina, you see Senegal, you see Brazil, you see you know see even Saudi Arabia. You see in these countries how passionate the players are to represent the country and how attached they are to the fans and how these fans just want to see their team being represented on the biggest stage in the world. But as I always say, there's no right or wrong, each to their own. I respect everyone's view when it comes to club versus country.
I
And I
know it's
don't, I
just
don't,
4 years from now. I know it's still, sorry, more like still 4 years from now.
yeah.
But who do you think will be next? Will be the next World Cup's Morocco? In other words, the next World Cup's fairy tale story. Like
It's
last year,
so,
it was Denmark in the Euros. This year, it was
yeah,
Morocco in the World Cup.
yeah. The previous World Cup it was probably Croatia, but it's hard because next World Cup is gonna have more teams. It's gonna be 42 teams, so it's gonna be way more teams in the World Cup, and we don't know who's gonna go and who isn't gonna go. So I think closer to the tournament, that'll be easier to predict. Right now it's so hard, and we see sometimes young players come up to teams that we didn't expect. Yeah, and I think that's also a very big problem for England is the fact that whenever there's a disappointment, the fan base are not united. They start to become racist or abusive, or it's
You
terrible.
don't have to. That's a bit of a generalization. It's not just in England. Like,
I wouldn't
did
say
you
it's
see
just
there were some
England, but
Argentina fans being racist towards France's players of African origin?
I've missed that part. But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is that
yeah, you
if
did
you
miss it because it's not that reported because they weren't
no, it's
England
it's the fact
supporters.
that I've not had time really personally. That's more my reason. But I think that
No,
if
no, I'm
if
not
for
saying.
example,
I'm not having a go at you. I'm
no,
just
no, no, I know,
saying.
I know, I know, I know. But if you look at, for example, last World Cup year, even though Croatia didn't win the World Cup, they lost the final. The whole nation were behind them, or the majority of the nation. You could see that people were genuinely happy and proud, and so was the players. In I remember in '98 when Brazil lost the final to France. It wasn't like Roberto Carlos and R9 were getting racially abused by the Brazil fans. They were behind them, and then 4 years later they went on and win that World Cup. Obviously, you will always find people and fans that are idiots in every fan base, in every country, in every corner of the
Can I
world.
just say
But it's
that?
yeah,
Can I just say that
yeah,
the majority of fans, I'd use that in quotation marks because I don't claim them,
yeah, yeah.
um, were actually not English people at all. There were the majority of Instagram accounts that targeted Saka were
Mm,
registered users in Iran,
yeah. Okay.
Pakistan, and India.
Yeah, and that's good because that's another
That's
thing
them.
that someone find.
That's those three nations giving England a bad name
Yeah,
when the
yeah,
majority of our fan base was actually behind Rashford, Saka, and Sancho.
yeah, yeah. And it's good that you say that, and I think that's something that started to change in England, whereas before, even for black players to play, it was a problem. When you look at players like Andy Cole and Ian Wright, even in their prime, they barely played for England. Whereas now that's changed, and I think there is one of the areas where one can praise Southgate is that he's managed to unite different cultures and different ethnicities and get people to accept them for being them. I think that's something
But
that's been
it
lacking before.
means nothing if England don't win a trophy.
Hmm?
I mean, what does I mean? Like, I get all the uniting of the cultures and all that, but if England don't win a trophy, what will Southgate be remembered for? Uniting the cultures or being a disappointment as an international manager?
I think both. I think both. I
Then
think
it
both.
then
I
clear
don't
he
think
should be.
people.
Then it's crystal clear he's a politician,
No, I don't. No,
just
I
in
don't.
the
I
wrong
wouldn't call him
profession.
a I don't. I would not call Southgate a politician. I don't think he's a politician, and I don't think just because you do one thing good doesn't mean that we can't criticize you for the on-field or not having the minerals. What I'm saying is that he's built something that will help England in the future, and it will benefit the players and the country itself. That it's more acceptable now to be English and not be white, for example, in your ethnicity. It's okay. You can be a Kyle Walker. You can be a Lingard. You can be a Bukayo Saka. You can be a Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
You can be a Declan Rice. You are allowed, and I think that's good
I
when it
just
comes
think we
to.
are one of the least racist nations when it comes to football. I've
I
seen a
think it's
lot
very.
more racist fan bases than England.
I think I don't know. It's
Italy,
hard to measure.
Italy, for example.
Yeah, I do think you have a point because the thing is, certain nations barely have any other, like Italy, for example. They have very few players that are not ethnic white Italians. You know, so it's hard to say. Croatia is another one. It's hard to say. Serbia, uh, even Spain to some context. Argentina is another one. You know, so it is hard to say or to measure which countries are more racist than another country's fan base because there's so different circumstances. Yeah, and I think it's a fair point, Luke. I do think it's a fair point. The question is, and I was speaking about that before, is that who is that man? Who is the man who can actually lead England to win a World Cup or Euros? But we're gonna end there. I'm gonna have to
Look,
run. Big up.
I wouldn't mind. Look, I'll be honest. I wouldn't mind it being Southgate if he dropped certain players. Like, there are certain players who do not deserve to be anywhere near that squad.
Yes, but we're gonna have to end the stream now. I gotta run. Thank you for
Yeah, I need to
coming
ask
on,
you something
Nippon.
when you end the stream. I need to ask you something when you end the stream.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Guys, make sure you subscribe to NS Sports TV. You can find Nippon there. He's a Chelsea fan, but he does a lot of football content. And he's a great channel and a great friend of mine. So do make sure you subscribe to NS Sports TV. Make sure you subscribe to Football Sports Talks as well. And that you do subscribe to FTSN as well. They've been great. And the lineups for Arsenal versus Juventus is actually out. And thank you everyone for tuning in.
The old lady.
Come on, Arsenal. And hopefully
Come
tomorrow,
on, it's just banter at the end of the day.
yeah, Messi can bag his first World Cup and remain the GOAT. But yeah, big up everyone for
Yeah.
tuning in. Yeah. We're going to end the stream now. Big up Luke, big up Peony, and big up each and everyone who did tune in. Big up Rick as well. It's been lovely to see you all. Peace out.